Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're at in the world, actually not just the United States. Welcome back to Bald Feather Bets. We will do a quick recap of Thursday Night Football last night between the Steelers and the Bengals. What a game. And then we'll add our pick for tonight for Friday night college football. And let you know about a game that we are monitoring, but most likely not going to play. Last night. Wow. First off, Steelers need to learn how to defend a slant. That would behoove them in the NFL. Yes, they need better run defense. I disagree with Mike Tomlin's notion at halftime and after the game that defending Jamar Chase would have taken care of itself if they could have defended the run. Because I don't really care if those were happening on 3rd and 9 or 2nd and 4 or 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 11. If you continuously play Jamar Chase one-on-one, and you continuously give up a slant route, most of the time, you are not going to win. Mike Tomlin has more football knowledge in his pinky toe than I have in my whole body or ever will have, but I don't think it was as simple as that. Also, and we were on the Bengals, right? So we had the +6. That was a win for us, 3 units. I mean, it was a positive outcome. Also, though, Joe Burrow has to be like, where the fuck was this offensive line when I was playing? Because Joe Flacco, through 2 games now, has gone up against the Packers, which with Gary, Van Ness, and Parsons has maybe the most formidable pass rush in the NFL, and then goes up against the Steelers with TJ Watt on that side, who also has a very formidable pass rush. And Flacco has time, and he's like the oldest, most statue quarterback in the NFL. So Burrow's got to be looking at this being like, where was this? Where was this before I got my turf toe injury? The other thing about this one is you're looking at the Bengals now at 3-4, and they don't have a murderer's row schedule because remember they didn't make the playoffs last year, so it wasn't like they were in that. The NFL does the thing where they harmonize the league a bit. They get parity in the league by doing the schedule. So if you finished at the top last year, you're going to play a much harder schedule than if you finished at the bottom, except for the Giants. Somehow the Giants were terrible last year and ended with the hardest schedule in the NFL, which is actually kind of funny. So the Bengals don't have like a murderer's row. And if they can get through this thing and be in playoff contention with Burrow coming back sometime in December, they may be able to get hot. They may be able to get in. And like we talked about in the video last week, between now and trade deadline, Bengals are playing to make sure that they keep their families intact in the homes that they are during the middle of a school year, not having to pull their kids out of school, move them to a new city, move their wives to a new city, all of those things. You can see the effort and the edge that the Bengals are playing with. And also, I mean, it was White Tiger night. I mean, Bengals can't lose in those uniforms. Anyway, so we got our win there, 3-0 on Thursday night, Bengals +6, and let's try and continue that into the rest of the week. So tonight, we've already given you guys the play. We have Louisville plus the 14. We're doing that for 2 units. Essentially what we're seeing here is if Miller Moss and Jeff Brom can exploit what I think is still the only weakness. I don't even say if I call it a weakness. It's just the only thing that I'm not 100% convinced of yet with Miami, and why I haven't moved them into my currently the 3 teams that I think can win the national title, why I haven't added Miami as a 4th yet. And that's the secondary, and that's the pass defense. If they've had a matchup yet on the schedule outside of the first one with Notre Dame, but that was CJ Carr's first game on the road. It took them until the second half to really settle in the passing attack. If they've had a game on the schedule yet that in theory could test that some. It is this one against Louisville. So we'll see. Friday night, all eyes are going to be on it. Really, Miami hasn't had a big game issue. Miami hasn't had a big game issue in a long time, and neither's Cristobal. Like, there's this idea, people get like in-game mistakes mixed up with big game issues sometimes. Cristobal's actually been quite good in big games, dating back to when he went into the Horseshoe as Oregon's head coach, as like a 1,400-point underdog and beat the shit out of Ohio State. So, not on the overall scoreboard, but if you remember and you watch that game, the Oregon win wasn't even really in doubt. They kind of did whatever they wanted offensively. So I don't think there's going to be any drop-off from Miami. I think they're going to play all out. I think Bain Jr. is going to be phenomenal. I think Carson Beck will be great. My only question is, like, is the best that you can get out of the Miami secondary still something that can be susceptible to the pass sometimes? We're going to find out tonight, because if Louisville's going to have any shot in this game, Miller Moss and Braum and that offense are going to go off. So we think 14 points is too many. It's college football Friday night. They could get blown out. That's why we're only doing it for 2 units. But that is our play for tonight. We've already given you a few plays for the weekend. We have both Monday night games picked. We have 1 or 2 of the Sunday games picked, and I think one Saturday game picked so far. Go take a look at the previous videos for that. Also the short that I uploaded yesterday. Didn't realize that I was uploading a short for the Thursday night football play, but that's fine. That has, I think I added 3 picks to that one. So yeah, go take a look at those, and then we will be back at you tomorrow for our college football Saturday plays. Hopefully we have another solid Saturday like we did last week. And then obviously be at you again Sunday, where we pick every NFL game against the spread. And we will be at you Monday, even though we've already given you both the picks. We'll have an official pick video for that, where we talk a little bit more in depth about those games. Be on the lookout for potential a community post tonight if we decide to move Minnesota, Nebraska into a play region. If we do, it would be Nebraska to attack this Minnesota defense. And then I just, you don't have to play the game just because it's on Friday night. Like, Minnesota, Nebraska was on a Saturday. We're probably not touching it, right? So I'm only going to play it if it actually moves into a play category. But we do think the line is too short on Nebraska. Should be somewhere up closer to like 8.5. I think our model had 9. And then also Saturday night, be on the lookout for our community post regarding the morning game in London between the Rams and the Jaguars. We'll get you that one the night before, so you can put that in, especially for those of you that are on the West Coast, and that game gets kicked off at like 6:30 in the morning or something. Anyway, thank you guys. Enjoy Friday. Enjoy your Friday night. Hopefully this Louisville-Miami game is a good one. I'm flying back from Washington, D.C. to Birmingham. So hopefully I have the Delta Live TV in front of me and I am able to watch it. If not, I'll get updates while I'm in the air via Wi-Fi. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe out there. Have a good Friday night.